Hello, it's a little after 7:30 a.m. on Friday morning, May 24. Before I get to the daily levels, I just want to point out this retracement. As we talked yesterday, this is the E-minis, and I had 8 contracts that had averaged in. And so this level here at 52.92.25 was where I needed to be, not only just to get out of the hole and break even, but to get a little bit. So that was $1,200 here right before 9 o'clock. And as suspected, they have been climbing higher and retracing this big move down overnight, but we'll get into the levels for today right now. The levels you just saw, by the way, were from yesterday. Please do not trade them today. So what you see now on this 1 minute chart are the levels for today, Friday, May 24. There's a couple zones up here because of the way the day ended yesterday, or the entire day worth of data and other variables. The levels that are formula derived are pretty far spread out. There are other levels I've identified in the middle here, including this light blue line, which is just the gap from yesterday. So what they've done so far is climbed up to 527.60 right under this level. And in the pre-market, and I showed you this, well, you saw the spiders, or sorry, the E-minis, how the futures have been climbing up. So, it's going to be interesting because it's a Friday. It's the leading up to a 3-day weekend with the Memorial Day holiday on Monday. So don't know. If volume is really low and there's not a lot of conviction either way, I would be hesitant to, well, not take a large position sizes, I guess is, maybe a few E-minis or one contract if you're used to trading multiple contracts. And I'm not sure I'll even have time to trade today. I've got to get ready to head out of town. So when I make the recap video for today, it will be later in the weekend, most likely Sunday evening, and I'll post it. We can recap what happened on today. But until then, just be safe trading today. Actually, let's take a look at a couple of things before I wrap this up. Just for perspective, let's look at some larger time frames. Here's the daily chart of the SPY. Right into our zone, fell away, but above the moving averages. And still on low volume. The weekly chart also, how it looks in relation to this zone we identified, still in relatively low volume. Timing's right, though. I mean, they're above the moving averages. They bounced off the 20 here a while back, and it depends on how they close today. What kind of signal we get here. This could just be the start of a bigger rollover. But let's take a look at the monthly now, because on this monthly, we have one more week before this candle closes. So where they close is important. I mean, they're above. The close of this monthly candle currently, as of yesterday, is relatively high compared to everything else. But a lot can change. And if they go higher, then this is still, I mean, everything's above the moving average is still very bullish. There's really nothing bearish about this chart at all. However, depending on what kind of signal they get, because of the time it's taken to get here, both these this run and this bigger run here, that, I mean, let's go crazy here, and let's just say this thing comes all the way down, they close at the bottom of this, and say the volume happens to shoot up in the next week. I don't know. Doesn't seem very likely, but if it does, and this produces a big, massive tail candle on a huge volume, that would just be a very obvious sign that this was the destination, and they're going to roll over, like way over, and we'd get a big correction all the way down, hundreds of points, many hundreds of points, or many points. S&P points. But anyway, that's just conjecture. I just want to point out that on the larger time frames here, the longer time frames, it doesn't look as drastic. If we jump down to something like a 2-hour, which we saw yesterday, last night, it looks kind of messy here. Like they just fell away. They bounced off this 50-period moving average. Didn't quite get down to the breakout area here. And there's this gap left over from a while back, whenever this was, the 14th of May. And a lot of other areas down here that could kind of catch price in this big, convergence of here of the, what is this, the 200 and the 100 period moving averages happening right now. So anyway, while it looks drastic on the shorter time frames here, and I don't normally consider a 2-hour chart a shorter time frame, but compared to the bigger daily, weekly, and monthly, just want to point out that it's not like, I don't know, I don't know why I tend to make these quasi predictions about what I think is going to happen, because I don't really care. In the bigger picture, I'm not, buying puts and options and doing a lot of those type of trading for longer term. I used to, but I just pretty much trade the futures intraday, and they work when I just grab, nothing's guaranteed, but like an 80% chance or better of getting points at levels that I have identified that morning. And I'm just going to continue to do that. And if you want to play along and trade them, you are welcome to do so. And I hope you are profitable as well. So anyway, we'll take a look at the 1 minute chart here, well after the market closes, and post a video on the recap of what the spiders did on this day. And we will see you then. Have a great weekend.